Hey guys, this is FixerMed. Welcome back to my ECG Skills Builder Workshop, where I will be covering all of the fundamental knowledge and skills you will need to read and interpret an ECG in a quick and effective manner. This will be part 11 of my multi-part video series of doing so. Without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started on today's content. So today I'll be mainly focusing on the U wave. The U wave is thought to be generated by repolarization processes within the His-Purkinje fibers. This theory proposes that after depolarization, repolarization occurs in these specialized cardiac conduction fibers. The appearance of the U wave on electrocardiograms, ECGs, is attributed to this repolarization. The His-Purkinje system plays a crucial role in coordinating and spreading electrical impulses throughout the heart. Abnormalities in the repolarization of His-Purkinje fibers may result in changes in the morphology of the U wave. While the exact mechanisms underlying U-wave generation are not fully understood, this theory provides insight into the physiological processes involved in cardiac repolarization. Moving on. Next, let's look at some characteristics of the U-wave. Location follows the T-wave. Amplitude, generally less than 25% of the preceding T-wave. Configuration, typically rounded and symmetrical. Deflection, upright. Duration, typically less than 0.1 seconds. Moving on. Next, let's look at some variations of the U wave. Prominent. Seen in conditions like hypokalemia, especially in healthy individuals. Inverted. May indicate heart disease when observed on electrocardiograms, ECGs. All right, now that we have covered all of the basic content, let's look at some recall-based questions to make sure you guys have retained all of the information during the presentation. Moving on. What physiological process is primarily responsible for the generation of the U wave on electrocardiograms, ECGs? All right, I think I gave you guys enough time here. I'm going to move on to see what the correct answer is and what the reasoning behind it is. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. The U wave on electrocardiograms, ECGs, is thought to be generated by the repolarization processes occurring within the specialized cardiac conduction fibers known as the His-Purkinje system. After depolarization, repolarization occurs in these fibers, leading to the appearance of the U wave on ECGs. The His-Purkinje system plays a crucial role in coordinating and spreading electrical impulses throughout the heart, and abnormalities in its repolarization can result in changes in the morphology of the U wave. Therefore, the correct answer is C, repolarization of the His-Purkinje fibers. All right, let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. The incorrect choices can be explained as follows. A. Depolarization of the atria. While atrial depolarization is indeed a part of the cardiac electrical activity, it is not directly responsible for the generation of the U wave. The U wave primarily reflects repolarization rather than depolarization. B. Depolarization of the ventricles. Ventricular depolarization corresponds to the QRS complex on an ECG and is not associated with the U wave. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. D. Contraction of the cardiac muscle cells. The U wave is not directly related to the contraction phase of the cardiac cycle. It primarily reflects the repolarization phase, making this choice incorrect. E. Relaxation of the cardiac muscle cells. While relaxation of the cardiac muscle cells, diastole, is an important phase of the cardiac cycle, it is not specifically associated with the generation of the U wave. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. All right, now that we have covered this question, let's move on to look at the next question. Which of the following characteristics best describes the morphology of the U wave on an electrocardiogram, ECG? All right, I think I gave you guys enough time here. I'm going to move on to see what the correct answer is and what the reasoning behind it is. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. The U wave on an electrocardiogram, ECG, is characterized by a short duration, usually lasting less than zero point 0.1 seconds. It follows the T wave and has an amplitude generally less than 25% of the preceding T wave. The configuration of the U wave is typically rounded and symmetrical, and its deflection is upright. These characteristics collectively contribute to the identification of the U wave on ECG tracings. Therefore, the correct answer is E. Duration is typically less than zero point 0.1 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. The incorrect choices can be explained as follows. A. Precedes the T wave. The U wave typically follows the T wave on an ECG, making this choice incorrect. B. Amplitude typically exceeds 50% of the preceding T wave. The amplitude of the U wave is generally less than 25% of the preceding T wave, not exceeding 50%. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. C. Configuration is typically sharp and asymmetrical. The U wave is characterized by a rounded and symmetrical configuration, not sharp and asymmetrical. Thus, this choice is incorrect. D. Deflection is inverted. The U wave deflection is typically upright, not inverted. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. All right, now that we have covered this question, let's move on to look at the next question. What are the two primary characteristics associated with the U wave on an electrocardiogram, ECG? All right, I think I gave you guys enough time here. I'm going to move on to see what the correct answer is and what the reasoning behind it is. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. The U wave on an electrocardiogram, ECG, can manifest prominently in heart disease, while its inversion may indicate hypokalemia. Prominence of the U wave is particularly observed in conditions like hypokalemia, especially in otherwise healthy individuals. Conversely, when the U wave is inverted, it may suggest underlying heart disease, indicating potential cardiac abnormalities. Therefore, the correct answer is B, prominent in heart disease, inverted in hypokalemia. All right, let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. The incorrect choices can be explained as follows. A, absent in healthy individuals, seen only in hypokalemia. The U wave is present in healthy individuals and may become prominent in conditions like hypokalemia, making this choice incorrect. C, prominent in hypokalemia, inverted in healthy individuals. While the U wave can be prominent in hypokalemia, it is not typically inverted in healthy individuals. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. D, absent in heart disease, prominent in hypokalemia. The U wave is not typically absent in heart disease. Instead, it may become prominent. Additionally, prominence of the U wave is often associated with hypokalemia, but not necessarily absent in heart disease. Therefore, this choice is incorrect. E, prominent in healthy individuals, inverted in heart disease. While the U wave can be prominent in healthy individuals, it is not typically inverted in heart disease. Thus, this choice is incorrect. All right, guys, that is all I have for the video today. As always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this if they are beneficial to you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to type them up in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, this is FixerMed signing off. Be sure to have a great day, everyone. Good luck studying as always, and goodbye.